Susie. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Susie Jose. I would wake up in the morning and just feel like a semi truck was laying on top of me that I couldn't move. I would take about a half an hour to get out of bed. And then when I did, it was just a huge weight everywhere. I even had to have a friend come over and feed me because I couldn't lift my arms and do anything on my bad days. And I would be driving down the highway and I just get this zing of not necessarily energy, but it would feel like I was shocked and just utter pain everywhere at once. And I'm like, okay, I'm driving down the road and this is happening. And this is very dangerous because it was at heart of a pain that I would want to crumble to the ground on. I've been suffering with it for about 45 years. It got really bad in my 20s with migraines constantly every day. And just more and more with my body and with fatigue as the older I got.
So, what was your level of pain?
I lived with a constant level of pain around 4 or 5. I got to learn how to function in life with pain. There's days that it was so high that I couldn't functionally do anything. There's times even like codeine wouldn't even touch my pain. And, so I'm like, oh, you want me to take Tylenol? That's not going to help at all when this pain medication doesn't help at all. So there was no pain relief with pain medication. So every day was okay, I can plan my day, but I don't know what my pain level is going to be this day and have to function life that way.
And what were the locations where you were experiencing most of your pains?
Pain-wise and fatigue-wise, it's from the hairline to my toes. Then everywhere in between, there is no part of my body that was without pain. And it is the most frustrating disease you can have because it affects so much of your body, and it does not. Medical doctors are like, oh yeah, we'll treat the symptom, but they're never ever treating the actual cause.
And what other symptoms did you have that were most debilitating to your life?
Constant sinus infections, breaking out in hives at any time for any reason, even though I ate the same thing and did the same thing as the day before. Bowel issues constantly, from not going to going too much. I've even gone through cancer and colon cancer. And I'm like, you know what? If I would have been able to treat the fibromyalgia before, I wonder if I would have never gotten that cancer, because it's fibromyalgia attacks, attacks your digestive system so much that I'm like, oh, I went through a year of fighting for my life with the cancer and going through chemo where I didn't have to. Right. If I would have been able to find something like Fiber Solutions earlier on in my life and be able to take control of my actual health issues.
And could you share a little bit more about the chronic fatigue syndrome and the brain fog?
The brain fog, it is like, I don't even remember having brain fog anymore because it's gone. It's like, oh, I can't even imagine, but the car accidents I would have and I remember driving and coming home and having to call my a friend and going, okay, this is what I see. And they would have to go, oh yeah, you're home in your garage. That my brain fog was so bad that I didn't even know where I was. my driving habits were that memory trigger that you get when you do the habits for such a long time, you don't even have to think about it anymore. And I wouldn't realize where I was. And I work in the accounting world, and just sit there and not be able to figure out why something doesn't balance could destroy my whole day, and it could make somebody's tax returns bad and incorrect. And there's days that I'm just like, I have to stop working because I can't physically think anymore, and I'd have to go rest. And the fatigue, they're, like, okay, I have these meetings planned for today. And all of a sudden I'd have a flare up that day, and or I was so exhausted and tired that, oh, guess what? I can't do it. And then have to cancel everything. My life was like, get up in the morning, have your day planned or your week planned, have going, oh, my body is just not letting me do it today because my body is so tired. I used to just work that 40 hours a week and then come home and rest and sleep the entire time. It would take me all weekend to recover from working 40 hours. And so all I was doing was working and nothing else. No hanging out with friends, no family events, no exercise. And when you're that tired, you want the quick, easy things because you need to eat. So you're eating more junk food. And people would bring meals to me because I just physically couldn't do anything at all. And now, after working with Ginger, it's amazing. I'm the one that's instigating, let's go out and do this stuff, and exercising on a regular basis and working. Okay, right now I'm working more hours because I'm restructuring my business, but I'm like, all right, let's go. 12 hours on Saturday. It's Sunday. What are we going to do? Let's go. And I'm like working and being active every single day of the month, and doing that on a consistent basis where I'm like, oh my word, I remember being afraid to go out and to this party or social gathering or whatever, because that much excitement or that much fun would just be so draining on me and just cause such fatigue. And now it's like, all right, let's go. Let's have fun. The true me is starting to come out. Like, I don't remember this person. So
Awesome. And what kind of therapies have you tried before? What kind of doctors have you seen and other practitioners?
I went, so in my 20s when I had migraines, um, I went to probably 30 doctors in 1 year trying to find the right doctor that to help me, pain specialist, neurologist, general practitioners, and chiropractors and massage therapist, acupuncturist, just the gamut of doctors. I don't know how many MRIs and CTs I've had, and they were never ever able to put it all together. I would go to a rheumatologist. I've gone to holistics, but never really fixing the source of those problems. So
Right.
yeah, it's been a long road. Every single year, my medical exemption is my highest exemption. My medical is my highest budget line item on my financials every single year. Even more than my house payment. And so it's just the amount of time and money and visiting doctors, because you go in for a 15-minute doctor appointment. Well, yeah, it's only 15 minutes for that doctor, but it's an hour and a half for you to get there. And then you have to go do the test that they want because they don't know what's going on. It's just hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars on top of hundreds of thousands. So Okay, so when I would try something new, I'd get a short time relief on that. But then my body would get used to that and then it would go away. And I'd be right back where I was started. Oh, try this new supplement or vitamin or this medication to do that. And it just, yep, I'd feel good. And about 3 months later, I was right back down. I tried to live my life on a straight line that there were no ups and downs of, just so that I could function.
So after the program, how did your symptoms improve?
After Ginger got me started on the herbs and targeting exactly what was wrong in my body, I had so much energy. I was skipping and jumping around, which, when you have sinus problems, you don't jump around. You see the kids jumping up and down that's how they dance now. And I just like, how in the world can you do that without getting a headache? Okay, I started doing that and just working more. And now it's more of a mindset for me that I can do this now. So that's what I'm fighting now because I have the energy to do stuff. I don't have the pain. I can get up in the morning and exercise right away. So yeah, it's just like I'm a whole new different person. So I never really had a regular bowel movement. And then after having part of my colon taken out, that totally changed where it was diarrhea all the time. I could never be without being 5 minutes from the bathroom. So traveling was kind of hard right there. I'd come out of the bathroom, have to turn around, go back in. Now I can go hours and not have to worry about having a bathroom by me. It almost feels like a regular person. My vegetables would come out just as they went in. That is not happening anymore. And I'm just like, oh my word, my body is starting to absorb the nutrition that it actually needs from the food that I'm eating. The neuropathy on your feet and your hands, especially when you are going in and out of hockey rinks and in and out of the negative 10 degrees that we get here, you would just have that tingling and pain that you could not even write anymore with your hands or type because it was just so painful. I remember in high school, the teachers would get so mad at me because I had gloves on because I went to a school in a basement. I'm like, I have to because the pain is so bad in my hands. I have to keep them warm. The shooting pains throughout my body, the heaviness that I would feel. It would just be like the 50-pound weights, and you're trying to walk around with that on you all the time. It's gone. I'm as light as a feather. I used to be able to tell there was a tornado hitting within 100 miles of me. And I could do that before the meteorologist would forecast that. That's how in tune my body was to the weather. I can't do that anymore. So, which is kind of frustrating because I could always like, oh yeah, a storm's coming. All right, let's have fun. I don't feel any of that. I'm not the barometer anymore. It's just light and freeing, and I'm trying to get used to living as we would call a normal life, a life of a healthy person.
What would you tell others who are living that life that you once lived and who have been told by doctors for decades or years that there's nothing that they can do to improve their bodies and that stop believing that there's a solution out there for them?
Our medical field, the Western medicine, is the newest medicine technology there is in the world. So they're not bringing in the ancient cures for things, the natural things. They only want the medicine built in a lab. And that's the same as the food that's built in the lab. Food built in the lab is not healthy food for us. We want to take the things that the Chinese, because you go around different parts of the world, United States is the unhealthiest there is. Our obesity, our diabetic, because of all the sugars and the preservatives that the FDA has demanded to be put into our foods, are destroying us. And I've done tons of research, even before meeting Ginger, trying to find the cure for this stuff. And it's just going to keep researching and finding the right fit for you. They've done all that research. They've done all of that studies of different things and what works and what doesn't work. So, I mean, it's kind of like if I would have found her this program 20 years ago, my life would be so different. I couldn't even imagine what my life would be like now. I call health 18-wheeler. You need the 18 things going through. The exercise, the eating healthy, the right supplements and herbs for you, the mental part of it, which I fought for years of doing, and believing in yourself. I had to stop and think, okay, I've tried all of these other stuff and it didn't work. Because I've already tried all these things that didn't work, but what if this one does work? Because of the words she's using, I know she understands it, because I didn't even have to tell her the symptoms I was having. And she was going, oh, how is this going? How is that going? And I'm like, yeah. And she was asking questions that no other doctor had ever even known to ask. So it's like, all right, you've spent all this money already and tried it. And yes, make that investment to try this, because what if it does work? When you are sick and tired of living the way you're living, you're going to do anything you can do to change that fact. And I use negative people as my role models. I have a neighbor who doesn't do anything. She's 71 years old. She can't even go to the store anymore because that's too exhausting to go to the store. I have those days anyways. When I'm in my 70s, I don't want to be like that every single day. So what am I going to do that I no longer have to live in pain? I don't no longer have to depend on other people to help me live my life. And it's not even a life when all you do is get up, watch TV, and eat 1 or 2 meals a day. And that's the only thing. I don't want that for my future. And if you don't actively do something to fight that off, that is your life, guaranteed. So it's, what mirror do you want? Do you want to be that healthy 70, 80-year-old running around? Or do you want to be that one sitting in the armchair every single day watching the world go by?
What's your identity? What's your new identity? Who are you as the health person, the health warrior today?
I am energetic. I did one of those tests that, what's your personality? And I was the go-getter, exciting person in the room. I'm the one that's going to put their hand up first. And I'm like, no, that's not me. No, I'm the one in the front row now. And I'm the one jumping up. Hey, I'll volunteer. I'll come on stage. Let's kick this ass. Let's have a party. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I'm just like going, oh my, I come home some days and I'm like, was that really me? Was that me doing that? Like, yes, that's me. Let's go dancing. My friend's like, oh, let's have a Christmas tea. Okay, the party's done. The invitations are already out and it's only been an hour. So you're not stopping on, I would like to do this someday. It's on the schedule now. We're doing it now because hey, I'm going to actually start taking vacation days and not sick days. So that is what my life is now. You have in you the fight because your body's fighting all the time, the pain, the disease. You have that in you. And given the right tools, you can be that health warrior that you are now. So they give you all the proper tools.